Hey, everybody, welcome back. Today we're talking about, are you building your dream marriage? This is the Marriage Momentum Show, and I'm Jenny Acord. I'm so glad that you're here. So, today I want to ask you a question that has the power to change the direction of your marriage. Are you building the same dream? So often couples think that conflict is their biggest problem. But what I found after working with couples is that it's not really the conflict that's the problem, it's that we stopped dreaming together. Most couples let conflict get in the way, and we spend all of our time focusing on what we think is going wrong instead of building what we want to have happen and really building a marriage filled with purpose. So, the deeper issue is many couples have stopped building something together, which means what? They're managing bills, they're asking about who's taking the dog to the vet, they're taking care of their schedules. We're doing all the things that keeps marriage functioning, right? But somewhere along the way, we stopped dreaming together. When two people stop building the same future, they start slowly separating. And we may be living under the same roof, but we're not headed in the same direction. We're feeling that sense of disconnection. Well, if you know me at all, you probably know this one thing. I am directionally challenged. I know it's true. It's actually kind of funny. And we have so many stories in our family about my inability to find direction. I love to drive, and I always want to be the one driving behind the wheel. However, I do not love the GPS telling me what to do. So there's the problem. Sometimes I may end up in a place that we never intended. And Rick has kind of learned to just smile about it. Well, sometimes he smiles about it. But the truth is that I tell my family, like, I'm never lost. I'm just always on an adventure. So come along with me on the adventure of doing life with Jenny. Sometimes we're taking scenic routes. Sometimes we're missing a turn or the route is GPS beyond. I just don't want the voice on there telling me where I need to turn. But you know what? Some of my favorite memories in our family are those times when we took the wrong turn, that we ended up someplace we didn't exactly intend to be. And I started thinking, marriage can feel the same way. Maybe today you feel like you're somewhere that you never intended to be. Maybe life is taking you down roads that you never expected, or you've experienced disappointment from stress, from loss, parenting struggles. I mean, you name it, you can fill in the blank. And maybe life is writing a story that you would have never written. I know ours has done that. So when you're in those moments when you didn't anticipate something and you're there, I want you to hear this today. Just because you've taken a detour doesn't mean your destination has changed. Let me say that again. Just because you've taken a detour doesn't mean your destination has changed. Now, what do I mean by that? Sometimes God is doing his deepest work in the moments when you're on a road that you never planned to travel. Here's what I've learned. More than 3 decades of marriage, been married for over 35 years now. Healthy marriages, they don't drift toward connection. They drift towards convenience. So we kind of get stuck in a rut of this is what we've always done, and it feels convenient. It starts to feel comfortable, but we're not being intentional. A marriage without vision eventually becomes a marriage of maintenance. Think about it. What do most couples talk about? Who's picking up dinner? What's on the calendar? Did you pay the electric bill? Are we taking the dog to the vet tomorrow? Those conversations, they matter, but they don't create momentum. They simply maintain life. Momentum comes when couples begin asking different kinds of questions, like, what are we building? Who are we becoming? What kind of marriage do we want our grandchildren to see and to remember? Because if you look at your marriage and you think it's not just shaping who we are, it's shaping the generations to come, it might shift the time and effort you put into being intentional about building your marriage. One of the biggest mistakes we make is looking around and seeing all the other couples and what they're doing, and we start to compare ourselves to what other couples are doing. And you know what? Comparison is exhausting. God never asked you to live somebody else's story. He has written one specifically for you. How do I know that? Because scripture tells us so. Jeremiah 29:11, it reminds us that God has plans for us, plans to give us a hope and to give us a future. Hebrews 12 tells us to run the race with perseverance, what he has already marked out for us. Did you catch that? He's already marked it out for you, not for somebody else. He has a plan and a purpose for you. So if God already has a purpose for you, your job isn't to copy somebody else's dream. Your job is to discover what his dream is for you. Rick and I are so different. So different. Early in our marriage, I honestly felt like we weren't even writing the same book. I'll often say, I don't think that we're on the same page, and I'm not sure that we were writing the same book. That's because I saw our differences as challenges to the marriage instead of as assets, right? Differences can make your marriage stronger. So when you think about this, here's what it looked like for us. I'm the one who was out there dreaming about all the possibilities, and Rick was the one who is like detail oriented. He's looking at, can we actually practically make this work, right? Now we need both of us, but I saw those as competing. But today what I'm realizing is that God didn't try to make us the same. He never intended for that to happen. What he did want is he's teaching us to write our story together, using our shared dreams and our unique giftings and abilities to strengthen our team. He brings two unique people together under one purpose. So I wonder if you looked at your marriage in that light, if it might shift the way that you're thinking about your marriage. Maybe your husband's different. Maybe your wife is different. I wonder if those giftings can actually strengthen your team, because they might see things that you can't see. So if you begin to build the same dream, it starts with learning to truly listen. Okay. So not listening to respond, because we know how to do that already. Really, we're listening to understand. And I want to give you some tips today about how to be good listeners on this journey of building your dream marriage. Here's 4 simple things you can do. Number 1, make sure that you actually have the emotional capacity to listen before starting an important conversation. We often will give our spouse a yes, I'm here, I'm ready to be a listener, but we don't have the space to really care about what they're sharing with us because we've had a long day. Maybe we've had other stressors in our life, or there's a lot of emotion connected from our story as we walk into that. So make sure that you're emotionally ready for the conversation. So do a little heart check. Do I have space to be able to actually care about what's going on for my spouse? Okay, tip number 2, listen for the heart beneath what they're saying. So we might get caught up in all the details and all the context of what's going on and being said, and we might miss the heart of what's really underneath the story and what they're really trying to say. So ask yourself this. What is the heart message? What is it that they're really trying to say that's connected under the surface, the deeper message going on in this conversation? Tip number 3, how to be a good listener. You don't have to agree to care. Now, this has changed so many marriages because we often think we need to agree on what happened. We need to agree on what it felt like to be us. But the truth is we can experience the same thing and both of us walk away seeing it differently and feeling about it differently. So you don't have to agree that what happened actually happened the same exact way. What I want you to do is to care about how it felt to be your spouse when that thing happened. It will make you a really good listener. All right. And then the fourth one is reflect back what you heard. And this one is that really awkward one because we don't want to do that. We don't talk like that in normal conversation. But when we're in a really deep conversation where we're trying to build connection, we don't want to just assume that we heard them correctly. Reflecting it back, summarizing what we heard may feel awkward in the moment, but let me tell you, it's going to lessen miscommunications. The more that you send or reflect it back, we're taught this in business that when someone tells us something, make sure you reflect it back so you heard and you got it right. We're going to do the same thing in marriage. If your spouse says, I'm having a really hard day today, your job isn't trying to fix it. Your job is to listen and say, I'm hearing that you had a really hard day today. Now, there's a difference because it's not your job to be responsible for what they're sharing. It's your job to care about what they're sharing. Okay? Those are your tips. So in the reflection back, you can say it sounds like, or I think I hear you saying, any of those things that kind of puts it out there. This is what I'm hearing from you. Did I get that right? And making sure that there's no misunderstandings about what they're sharing about their heart message. So I'm going to challenge you this week. Okay. So your challenge this week is to do a dream together challenge. Turn off the TV, put your phones away, no distractions. And like you can go for a walk, grab a cup of coffee, but just spend some time sharing with one another these questions. I want you to ask this. Number one, what's one dream that you've never shared with me? Sometimes there's a dream in our heart that we've never shared or given voice to. Give some space for that and see what comes out. Number two, what breaks your heart right now? Like, what is it that your heart really cares about? Tell me about that. And then number three, what would you love for us to build together in the next 5 years? Do some dreaming, okay? Don't try to fix it. You don't have to debate. You're just there to listen, to dream, to encourage each other, because couples who dream together grow together. I want to leave you with this thought. Purpose is always more powerful than perfection. No marriage is perfect. That is not the goal here. Rick and I, we are certainly not perfect. We have taken some wrong turns. We've had seasons where we had to reroute. We've made mistakes. But what every detour, we can recognize it just becomes part of our story. Every season has taught us something about God, about each other, and about ourselves. So don't be discouraged. If your marriage isn't exactly where you hoped that it would be, instead ask yourselves this: where is God inviting us to go next? Because great marriages don't happen by accident, they're built intentionally. And remember, your marriage is a message. Make it one worth echoing. Well, if today's conversation stirred something in you and you're like, hey, we want to build our marriage on purpose, I'd love to invite you to apply for a marriage vision call. It's a private conversation where we'll explore the vision of your marriage, identify where you are right now, what's been getting in the way, and where you want to go. And then we're going to determine if you are a good fit for my elite marriage coaching program. And then just so that you know, in the elite marriage coaching program, I only work with a small number of couples because I believe that you need and require attention, coaching, encouragement. And I can't do that if I hold a lot of clients at the same time. So I only have a few spaces available. Right now, I only have 2. So if you are interested in that and you want to sign up for that, I'd love to meet you. I put a link in the chat for you to, here, let me do that real quick. For you to apply, if you want to do that, it's also in the description underneath down there. So either way, I'd love for you to consider applying for a marriage vision call. Let's see if you're a good fit for the Elite Marriage Coaching Program. And until next Tuesday, that was the Marriage Momentum Show. Bye.